Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're going to be doing a video I should have done probably earlier in the year, but I didn't get around to it. We're going to do a Dark Trooper attack modification using two of the Dark Trooper attack sets. So I have three different models to show you today, and I'm going to try my best to give you somewhat of a tutorial so you can make it yourself. Yeah, without further ado, we're going to get right into it and look at the first model on our agenda today. Alright, so the first model that we have here is basically two of the Dark Trooper attack sets mirrored next to each other, and they are attached by a hinge and clip system, which is pretty cool because it allows you to position it in different ways. I'll just give you kind of an overview here. We slightly modified the pulling mechanism used for like the force play feature that the original set had, and it actually serves as kind of like a key mechanism once it's unfolded. So I'll just quickly kind of show you what it's like underneath here. We're going to pull out some of the bricks in the wall. And you just see how I've modified that a little bit, shortened it down. But there are a couple extra pieces within this modification. I don't think they're too hard to find, but I think you probably could manage to make this even if you didn't have the parts, or at least make something close to it, which I think is pretty cool. If you just make these mirrored and put them next to each other, I mean, that's basically what it is. And then if you put some tiles on the top, it should be fine. So you can see the clip there, and the hinge, and we'll just take this plate out here and I'll kind of show you underneath on the other side. So building it mirrored isn't too difficult. It takes a little bit of thought at the beginning, but once you start going and moving along, it's not too bad. But I'll just show you kind of what the bricks are placed and where they're going here. Got a few other plates and whatnot, and just kind of covering it up. So that's kind of the assembly there for the first part. Again, you should be able to make the mirrored set with no difficulty. Maybe a little bit of trouble at the beginning, but once you get going along, it shouldn't be too bad. So, but here's the main feature of this design. It pulls apart. You can see the clip is on that side, and then I just stuck one of these kind of rod pieces on the other side. You'll see in a second, and those just clip together when you close it up, and I think it works out really nice. Gives it a little bit of strength when it's next to each other, so that if you try to pick it up or anything, it's going to stay intact and not just fall apart. And then the hinge at the front also allows for that mobility. So overall, pretty nice design. If you don't really care for the hinge system, You could just have them back to back, and that would just work out as well, and you can have 2 different scenes there, whatever you want. But I'll show you here on the other side. What you can do is split it up like this. You can have it in a couple different orientations to make different scenes. And then if you really want, you can make like a really long hallway scene and then use that force push ability play feature that we kind of trimmed down there and use it as like a key lock mechanism. So you just push it and lock it in. So then when you try to, separate it, it's not going to fold out on you, which I thought was pretty cool. And I tried to make it symmetrical on both sides, or at least look like it's, symmetrical. So here's what it is with the Dark Troopers in there. I got a couple pictures. And again, you get a total of 6 in 2 of the sets. And I did have 1 extra from the Moff Gideon cruiser. So I think this looks pretty cool with the longer hallway scene. I just don't have a lot of space to display it. So for me, it's not super practical. But I mean, a lot of people I think will like having that longer hallway. And again, if you add the stickers in there, it's going to look good. One thing that I wanted to do with mine was have a scene with Mando and Moff Gideon fighting, for the dark saber, or Moff Gideon with his dark saber rather. And this is something that I wanted to do, give them kind of their own little scene, have them separate, but like next to each other. And one thing about this design, obviously, is that there's a ton of space to just move your figures around, place them anywhere. But I felt like this was a little bit too big for me, at least for the Mando and Moff Gideon fight scene. I thought I could probably shrink it down a little bit, and we'll definitely see that in my second design. I really shrunk it down and tried to conserve as much space as possible. But you can make it as big as you want. You can keep it like it is. And again, you have a lot of flexibility with this design using different display orientations, which I think is cool. So yeah, a lot of things you can do there. You can have a long hallway scene, you can have the 2 separate scenes, and then you can display it in multiple different orientations. So yeah, that's the benefit of this design. Again, it requires 2. And if you bought maybe, 3 or 4, you could probably make even a bigger hallway. I know there are a lot of different modifications out there where they just beef up the hallway and they make it, like this super massive hallway complex. But, as for just 2 of these sets, I think this does the job pretty well. Sticking with that similar design here, we have kind of a second option for you. You can use Darth Maul and some of the 501st clone troopers, or the Ahsoka clone troopers if you have any, and make that scene from when Maul is on the Venator and just goes full Rampage mode, obviously. But this is the design that I will be using in my display, and it is basically one of the set with a small side section at the back. Now, it is a little small and cramped, as I mentioned, but it fits on my display, which is the main thing that I wanted. I did add the stickers in finally, and I think it looks much better. I did not add like the hallway lights, just the back stickers there, the big ones, because I felt like they added quite a bit of detail. But yeah, I'm really happy with this. It's just a simple add-on. It's basically mirrored as far as like the design for the wall. The subsection is just held on by some tiles, and then I also did add a clip on the inside, so you can just pull it off like so. And again, it's very similar clip system. You just got one of those the clip bricks, and then the little rod piece that goes on the other side, and you can't see it. It just fits in there nice and sturdy. So the bottom is pretty easy to assemble. I think most of you could probably figure it out just by looking at it a little bit. Nothing too major. So yeah, that's pretty much it though for these set modifications. If you guys have any other questions, I do have an Instagram. You can take a look at some of those pictures on there. It's at New England 4, same as my YouTube account. Let me know what you guys think, and until then, I'll see you guys in my next video.